Good dance music. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome back to Call Aboard.
Choo choo.
Call Aboard. So this is our monthly episode of Call Aboard where we talk about what games we played this past month, as well as we want to hear from you as to what games you have played.
That's right. We want to know what's been on your table specifically.
So I'm Ryan.
I'm Anthony.
Yep. And we are two of the three conductors of the Tabletop Express. Not founding members.
Nope.
We're just running with it today, folks.
Assistants to the traveling secretary.
I'll take it though. So we're gonna talk about what games we played this month, which I prepared a lot of things,
Okay.
but I didn't prepare anything about what games I played this month.
Well, I will tell you, be prepared for a lot of unpreparedness on this end of the table, folks. I will tell you that. I was just scrounging for news items to talk about. I'm going to stumble through this, and that's just the way it goes.
That's right. Well, we're talking about the games we played this month.
That's easy. I got that right here.
And then we're also going to talk about some news of the month. Right. So some highlights of what's been going on, big and small and everything in between, But yeah, so let's talk about how was your month?
All right. How was my month? How many games did you play this month?
Oh, man. Abysmal.
Oh, yeah, you say that, and I guarantee you mine's probably.
All right, well,
you're abysmal.
Are we including online games?
I don't have those tracks, so
okay.
I would say no, but I could probably estimate a little bit.
All right, I'm going to remove the online ones, right? I'm going to select... I've played 15 games in person this month.
Okay. I did 12.
There you go.
All right.
See?
All right. Closer than
But 9 different games altogether.
Okay.
Kind of a slow month. I mean, it's been a busy ghost busting month for me. Yeah, company.
I thought it was the anniversary, right?
Yeah. 39.
Jaws 50th anniversary.
Next 2 years.
Two
right?
summers from
yeah,
now?
Yeah.
Summer?
I know.
We got to do something special.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right. Cool. All right. So a good gaming month overall. I got some games in with Chris. Well, so you were on vacation.
Yes.
So you had a good part of the month. You were.
That's why my low gaming.
That's a good reason.
That's part of the reason.
Yeah, it's good. Did you bring any games with you, by the way?
No, I did not bring any games. Yeah. She has a game with me, but I did back a game while I was in there.
What did you back?
I pre-ordered the Metal Gear Solid board game.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm a big fan of the original video game. Ian's in the chat.
Hello, Ian.
Evening.
Good to see you, sir. Hypothetically.
Well, yeah.
Good to see
your
screen name.
It's good to see your screen name. That's true.
So I got to play a game or two with Chris and also my wife a bunch, obviously. But then my niece has actually been staying with us for a few nights, and so we got 2 or 3 gaming experiences in with her as well. So it's always exciting because she's always down to really do anything. Although it's funny. The other night, I put out like 12 games on the table.
Yeah.
Somewhat randomly. And I had my niece come in and my neighbor was there too. And I made my wife do the same thing. Everybody eliminated one game just off the table.
Sure.
I took one off too. And then I kind of narrowed it down and then we just kind of I described a little bit about them from there. So there was some co-ops.
Okay.
And then some the very opposite of co-ops, like Survive, for example.
Oh, I want to play that stuff.
And my niece was like, "Yeah, I want to do the thing where you kill everybody."
Yeah.
So I was like, "All right, Survive it is," and boy, was it a fun one.
I gotta pull up Survive.
Oh man, I love this game so much.
I still have it over there on my unplayed shelf.
You have the OG, right?
I have the OG one.
Did that come out in
82?
80s or 70s? 80s.
82. Yeah, this is right. This is it right here. You know what? I'm gonna go grab the old one because it looks so cool.
It is a cool looking box.
Have you played the old one or you played the?
No.
Oh man.
Well, I don't know how much different it is really. To be honest.
I think it's roughly the same. I'm gonna pull this out.
Oh, good old.
Size look box. At that coffin box.
Nice.
Hang on. Where is this?
A sea full of danger and oceans of fun.
So you didn't play this edition?
No, I did not.
But it roughly looks the same.
It
right?
really, really does. To be honest, the components are.
Let me pull up now on Board Game Geek.
Mostly the same.
Let me see. On Board Game Geek, this is. Someone bling their copy out, or is this as is? Oh, that's a close up of an arm.
No, that's regular stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to play it. I like the idea. So, tell us, for those that don't know about Survive.
Well, if you've never played Survive, you're basically trying to get as many of your little meeple folks off of this sinking island, more than anybody else. The caveat is that they each have a point value underneath them,
Right.
ranging 1 through 6. And at the beginning of the game, when you first build the island, you take turns take turns putting your people out on one of these hexes. But then you can't really look at it after that. So
It's memory.
you're going to try to remember where you're like 5 and 6. You're not going to remember where they are.
Yeah.
You might get lucky. But anyway, then the game progresses and just gets chaotic from there because on every turn, you're going to be moving your people around and then taking one of those hexes off, starting with the beach sandy terrain because the island is sinking. The bottom of the tile will do something for you or
Oh, they're different heights.
save an ability. Yeah, the beaches are the lowest.
Yeah.
The forest in the middle and the mountains are the highest.
I just noticed that. That's cool.
Yeah. So it's a mad scramble to get on these boats, get to one of the corners of the board before you either get eaten by a sea serpent or a whale destroys your boat or a giant squid just comes and kind of yanks you off the off the land or something like that. It's awesome. So many cool meeples and animeeple, wooden pieces out, the sharks and stuff. I mean,
It looks cool.
it's so much fun.
And wasn't this in your top 20? Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah.
99%.
I'm almost certain about that. Because if so...
If it's not, I call shenanigans on myself.
Yeah.
Because it should be.
But I see a lot of, blinged out stuff.
Oh, yeah.
The trees, I guess, don't come with
The
it.
trees do not, but that's the way the dolphin looks, and those are the shark fins and the
That's
wooden
cool.
boats. It's cool. And inevitably, there's a lot of jaw stuff going on. My friend even took out her phone and played the theme.
Oh, nice.
Right as she was circling one of the meeples and chopping it down. So
Nice.
Survive, highly recommend, but you have to know going in that you're going to hurt somebody's feelings, and your feelings are going to get hurt as well.
I want to play that. Oh, hey, Danielle. Fun components. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's part of the fun with that kind of game.
Oh, yeah. Lots of fun
know?
to play with.
You want that,
And the board just gets loaded up after a while. There's just stuff everywhere. You're like, how am I going to get to that island? There's 2 whales and a squid and a sea serpent waiting there at the end. And then there's a whirlpool that can come and just suck everything up and take
That's
it off the
wild.
board. It's awesome.
Man, I should play this. And the way you make it sound, I feel like you might like Cosmic Frog.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Because
I'll
of
do
the
it.
absurdity of it.
I'll do it. This
Uh,
would be a good live playthrough. This will look
Yeah,
good on
I
camera.
think so. We could do a retro day, right? So that's Survive Escape from Atlantis. Cool.
Absolutely.
So I'll bring up one. I'll bring up one right now too. So most recently, let me go back here. I have played. I'm gonna go most recent backwards. So I played a game with family, and I played Mamma Mia. Have you done Mamma Mia?
Mamma Mia. I have not.
I'll pull it up. Mamma Mia is right here. So it's an Uwe Rosenberg card game where you are all trying to create different pizzas.
Okay.
I'm a big pizza fan. So
It's a great theme.
Oh man, this person has their pizza way too close to the cards. So I bought it through some guy selling on Facebook Marketplace. And what you're doing is you're going to have a hand of ingredients or orders, right? And the draw pile is just there, and it's going to have different ingredients. Then you have your separate private draw pile, which is called your waiter, which has your order cards. And on your turn, you draw up to 7 cards, and you choose what pile of cards you want to take from.
Okay.
The ingredient cards or the order cards. The idea is you're trying to fulfill the order cards with the ingredients that are getting played. Now, the thing is, on your turn, you're taking an ingredient card and putting it into the discard pile, which is called the oven. Okay? Because it's a shared discard pile. And what I mean by that is when you place those ingredient cards down, you're also putting down you could also potentially put down an order down too.
Okay.
And what's going to go on is at the end of the round, which means the last card was drawn from the deck, we're going to take the discard pile, put it face down, and flip each card one by one. and set them up into like, okay, these are all the different mushrooms, these are all the
Okay.
different pepperonis, and then eventually an order card will come out, and if there's enough ingredients in that central board,
That
you
pizza
can
gets
fulfill it.
made.
Right. But the thing is, you're trying to put ingredients for yourself in there, but also at the same time, you're trying to make sure that you don't help other people out too, because other people are going to see what you're putting, and we're all have there's a central
Yeah,
oven, so
pretty cool.
there's a bit of like kerfuffle and memory kind of thing going on.
I feel like that there's another game that does something similar, but I can't think of what it is right now. I like that idea.
I don't know.
That shared discard. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but Mamma Mia was a pretty solid one. And if you are calling, I know we have a caller on the line right now too, and he actually mentioned Mamma Mia on our Discord.
Wow, that's perfect.
So
Look at that first segue.
I'm gonna bring him on in.
Yeah, take advantage
I'm gonna
of
bring
that.
him on in. So on board, you're coming in 3, 2, 1. Hey Nick,
What's
you're
up?
here.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
How's it going?
Oh, good. Yeah.
I was just talking about how you were talking about Mamma Mia on the Discord channel.
Yes. That has been a game that's stuck around in my collection for a while. What's the other one? He's got another one. It's interesting though that before all the farming games,
Oh, because
he made pizza. Yeah.
Right, and it was a Bonanza.
Bonanza. Yeah.
Right, Bonanza.
Which I think was his first game.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's early enough, right? Let me see. Bonanza, yeah, 97. And then Bargain Hunter.
Yeah.
Bean Trader.
Yeah. Oh, is that
There's
just
this.
Bonanza? again?
Hold on 1 second. There's one I just picked up from him, I think, as well, from somebody who was recommending, but I haven't
Sure.
played it yet. Just give me 1 second.
Yeah. Oh, yep. He's leaving right now, but people have said hi. So, Danielle and Ian saying hi to Nick. They're so nice. You got some highs in the chat, so hi for you.
Yeah,
Hi for ya.
I was asking about trick taking games, and
Oh, yeah.
somebody mentioned Bargain Hunter, which is also a Ube game. So
So
Pretty
I
cool.
really want to finish Bargain Hunter.
Yeah.
So 2 years ago, it was me, my wife, and Squirrel on my birthday. We played a game together, and we played Bargain Hunter.
Okay.
And Bargain Hunter is such a weird. It's a trick taking game. Trick taking game where you're really messing with like negative numbers and negative points, and the player with the lowest score, so the least negative points, wins. And you're trying to like pass off cards to other people. Yeah, we should play Bargain Hunter.
So what happened? You never finished the game?
No, we never finished. I know. Isn't that the worst?
That's lame.
And that's the thing. Like, it's on my shelf of shame, right over there.
It should be like
And it's like
it should be like leaning off a little more.
it's sticking out a little bit.
it's 45 minutes. That's fairly long for like a trick taker.
Yeah, I remember it being long. I think that was
Yeah.
part of the reason why we nixed it.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it is wonky. There's a lot of wonky rules in it.
Yeah. My thing is for my son, like I think I can get him into the more in-depth ones, but we have to do like the rolling teach. He's only 7, so I mean,
Sure.
to be fair. But like card games, he's been picking up pretty good, so pretty quick. So like I had a few that Skull King, like these are ones that he like asks for. Like, hey, let me introduce you to a new game. He's like, okay, but at least we'll play Skull King first. Inside Job. Another one. This is his favorite one right now.
Which one's that?
Inside Job.
Inside Job. Okay.
Yeah. It's from Tanner Simmons. It's got, if you like social deduction,
Sure.
it's got that and trick taking,
Cool.
which is pretty cool. And he liked Saboteur like as one of his favorites for a while,
Yeah.
and then he really got into trick taking, and this has a little bit of both. And it's nice because it's like, I mean, I think one of my original ones I played was The Resistance,
Sure.
which is nice in its own right, but
Yeah.
there's only a few layers to it, right? Like with trick taking, and they have the special roles too, so it just gives you a lot of different options and more play. 'Cause they got the different roles we just threw in last time, and it just
Yeah.
definitely like gave some more flavor to it.
And he's playing at 7.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
I know. Yeah, he's all excited. He's trying to get into the whole videos and stuff too because he watches all that stuff.
Nice.
So you have more love in the chat. Dan saying hey, and Ian saying that For Sale is similar weight game that is just as fun. And I love For Sale.
For Sale's
That's
a good one for sure.
And he's asking if you guys have tried a Scout.
Yeah, Scout's a solid one. I haven't played that with him yet, but
yeah,
I need to. I got that at PAX on Blood last year, so definitely.
I should play Scout. Have you played Scout?
Yeah, I love Scout.
Oh man,
It's a lot of fun.
I feel like I'm missing out.
It's definitely worth checking out. I mean, especially if somebody else has a copy. I know when around PAX last year, it was kind of hard to find, but maybe a little easier now. Yeah. But other than that, like we played a coin game, Colonial Twilight. We told you we've been getting into the Undaunted Stalingrad, so 2 scenarios in there.
So what? So were you up? Did you go to Origins at all? Or
I did not. Neither did I. So I went to a recent convention I was going to bring up.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah. So we went to HeavyCon. That was in Boston, which was a lot of fun. But then and I'm trying to go back to that again because that was really cool. I was going to say because we went to AwesomeCon I think last weekend or something like that. And
is that in DC?
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, and every year, past year, I think I've been there twice, and we just went there for like the actors. They have their little sessions where they chat with you, and it was cool. Like I think it was Pippin from Lord of the Rings. They had like Carl Weathers, like Back to the Future. All those people in the past, like Michael J. Fox and all that. So that was fun, but like. This year, I think Labyrinth is a big board game store in DC. They sponsored the event. So they had like all these games for play to win. We ended up winning Marvel Dice Throne. We just played it one time, put our names in it, and they got to us. But what I really liked about the convention was they had a lot of local designers there. So like Elizabeth Hargrave, she's from Silver Spring, Maryland. Jason Matthews, the one that's done Twilight Struggle. Tori Brown, Votes for Women. Fort Circle.
Right here. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that was really the highlight of the event. It was a big convention in general.
Yeah. Like
my wife, she had her session for work. She had that where she spoke, but we just hung out in the tabletop place pretty much the rest of the time, and it was definitely pretty busy. But like I said, it felt like you could anybody there had time for you, right? Like. Just imagine like Gen Con or something like that, right?
Yeah.
There are just tons of people. Here, you could really kind of sit down. I got to try out the Halls of Montezuma for Fort Circle. They had that on Kickstarter right now. I had fun. Liked it enough to back it. Natalie, she played Twilight Struggle Red Sea.
Oh, and
winners of that got a copy of it. So, I mean, it was like... It's nice. It's just local. Like if you find those smaller ones sometimes, and I mean, just look up who's going, and might be worth checking out.
Yeah, I have to check it out. You know, maybe I could finagle my Ghostbuster group to invade there.
There you go.
You know?
There you go. Make a week out of it.
You know.
Yeah.
So any games stand out to you this month that you wanted to highlight in particular?
So yeah, I mean the Undaunted one, Stalingrad. Like, yeah, we're rocking through that.
It's so good.
Yeah, we just did 2 scenarios in a row. So
might add my game of the year.
Yeah.
Of last year.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's so good.
And we liked Normandy and all that, but like I think when your different cards change every game.
Mm-hmm.
and you got that like evolving story that just
Yeah.
adds to it. For
Yeah,
sure.
it makes it so much better because like the right because the mechanics, the Undaunted system is such
Right.
a solid system. You add that on top to make it campaign based, and it's not like true like it's not true Legacy where you play and you're done. You could reset
Right,
the campaign.
Yeah,
But
100%. And it was just coming off a game. We played Colonial Twilight. It's a
Yeah.
coin game, and I think with the coin games, we played Cuba Libre first, but
Sure.
I think you play them once, and then you're pretty familiar with the system.
yeah,
And then we jumped into that. We played this like maybe a month after we played Libre, and retained a lot of it, but there is some different nuances in each game. So we played it. It's definitely a longer one. This can play
Yeah.
2 players, which is cool. But
nice.
once, we played it. It was like a all day thing kind of thing, just to get
90
it
to
down.
300 minutes.
300 minutes will
Yeah.
do that.
For
too.
sure,
Yeah.
100%. So then going from that to the Undaunted one, it was like it was a little kind of refreshing because you're like, we can just jump into this. Like
Yeah.
we haven't played Normandy in a few months, and we were able to just kind of get it going and crank out a few scenarios. So,
Nice.
but
Very
yeah,
cool.
So we do have another caller, so I'm gonna let you go for a minute.
Yeah.
But stick around in the chat. Feel free to hop back in whenever.
sounds
You know.
good. Nice talking with you guys.
All right, later, Nick.
Later. Bye.
Nice. You should play, by the way, the Undaunted games.
Okay.
I mean, it's a deck builder,
Yeah.
effectively, but with little pieces you move around.
Yeah, no, it looks
You
cool.
know?
I've watched you guys play.
Yeah.
I'm definitely
Easy
interested.
Jones in for some Undaunted.
Yeah.
Stuck in an
So-
infinite loop of scenario 1 for Undaunted Normandy because I'm showing you people the game all the time.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? I think next time, just jump them into like the 5th scenario or like the 6th because you don't need to play them in order. You don't. You could just
Okay.
go whatever. If they're more comfortable, like if they played deck builders, you could probably jump them right into a little bit more of a step up.
All right.
But yeah. Oh, and Ian's mentioned about a distant plane. And speaking of talking about Ian, he is currently on deck right now, and I'm bring him in 3, in 2, and 1. Hey, Ian.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hello.
How are you doing?
Can you? I'm good. I'm finally made it back from Origins after a 2-day delay.
Oh man, yeah, you were telling me. So
Yeah, but no, Origins was amazing this year, back up to about 16,000. So
yeah,
almost pre-COVID levels, and similar number of events. So always a good couple of days, and lots of great gameplay.
well, you have to tell us what games were on your mind there. Duh. And by the way, for those of you that don't know,
Origins
Ian has
stuff.
played. No, Ian's been on the channel before, off camera, playing a bunch of games. He played Cosmic Frog on stream, Find Muck, which I think you are like the co-founder of the Cardboard Combat or whatever. How's
Oh
that?
yeah, that's currently going through a trademark process.
Yeah. And then you
I
also
remember that. I
played
remember
Indiana
that well.
Jones game with us on stream too. The
Yeah,
Sands
that
of
was
Adventure.
that was an interesting game.
Yeah, that's a nice way to put
Yeah,
it.
and then Ryan, you and I played quite a few now and again as well. So
Yeah, it's the advantage is you live so close. You're in the same town as me, so we could. I think I just texted you today or yesterday about like, hey, do you own this game? Because Autobahn. Do you own Autobahn, by the way? Yeah.
I do own Audubon. It is on
I
my
know.
shelf of opportunity.
But that's what we do.
great,
We text each other.
Yeah, great producer.
Yeah.
Great reviews, and looks like a great game to go to the table. But I'm going to I knew you guys have heard of the couple of games I'm probably going to highlight now.
Sure.
But one of them clearly stood out for me, and this is one that you have talked about on the channel before,
Yes.
and had the pleasure of, I think, interviewing the designer. But Votes for Women was probably my game of the con.
Such a good game.
Yeah, the tightness of the card play, the tightness of the area control, and then Fort Circle just knocked the production out of the park.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, did you actually have the copy? Like, with all, like, the documents inside? Like, all the
yeah,
materials?
so I
It's so
I
cool.
picked up the full copy. Had a wonderful playthrough with Tori. So played the whole game through with her. And then I got in 3 plays of the game with friends I met, friends who were Origins. So I played Votes for Women 4 times last week,
It's a channel favorite right there.
which was unbelievable. But it was nice that Nick mentioned Halls of Montezuma, because I also got to play that with Kevin,
Right.
who's the designer of Halls. So kind of the sequel to Shores of Tripoli. So the more I find out about Fort Circle games, the more impressed I am with them by the day. I think their design team, their in-house design team, is absolutely phenomenal. But Halls of Montezuma is legit.
Yeah.
I'm a heavy gamer. I play a lot of coin stuff, a lot of GMT stuff. I thought Shores of Tripoli was good. Halls of Montezuma is like Shores of Tripoli, elevated to like 5x, 6x.
Nice.
It is really nice, and it's still being tweaked.
Yeah.
So I think it's only going to get better as they finish the Kickstarter. They do a little bit more development work on it, and then we get it into our hands. But some great mechanisms where you've got to vote for bills to pass through the Senate, and then there's kind of delaying tactics, and you have to kind of push your luck. Am I going to try to roll to see if the bill's successful? Do I want to lobby and delay a turn? But all the time you're conscious of a time crunch.
Yeah.
And incredibly thematic, with it being really difficult for the US to kind of push deeper through the region and try to gain control of Mexico City. Yeah, wonderful, absolutely wonderful.
I know with Fort Circle too, because Shores of Tripoli came out, and then Votes for Women has like a #1 on it. 'Cause I think they're redoing Shores of Tripoli, and like moving forward. But they have a lot of cool games. Like I want to check out Guano Guano Guano. That one.
Yeah.
That one. Yeah, Kate Bertram. Right.
Yeah, I think the next 2 or 3 years for these publishers is just going to be immense. When you look at,
are they the ones? Yeah, they're the ones that pick up Night Witches too.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah.
But also, Tori was saying that Votes for Women is going to get a second print.
Oh, good.
With some additional stuff in it, with a player aid in it.
Okay.
FAQ and some very minor rules tweaks just for clarification.
Okay.
And she was very clear that the files are going to be on BGG.
Cool.
So early supporters aren't going to be penalized. We're going to get access to the information. But yeah, I think that's going to be an evergreen for them, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
No,
they were kind of my highlights. Well, they were kind of. I think Votes was the game of the con, but I also had a great experience with a company called Armchair Dragoons, who are a local company out of Columbus, and they basically spend the 5 days organizing war games. So they're really well supported by Osprey. They're really well supported by GMT.
Okay.
They publish and blog about wargaming and education and simulation. They do stuff with Department of Defense.
You said it was Armchair what?
They're called Armchair Dragoons.
Okay, Dragoons.
So it's not a game. It's a
publisher.
It's kind of a group of former military guys and DoD guys.
Oh, okay.
Who are very active at any convention. So Histicon.
Got it.
Certainly very active at Origins. But they're incredibly active in the idea about how we can use simulation in war games to kind of broaden our knowledge about history, to look at alternative mechanisms. But I played a great game of A Distant Plane with them.
Oh, yeah.
And what they do with A Distant Plane, for those people who don't know it, A Distant Plane is a 4-person asymmetrical coin game.
Right.
So you're playing out cards and kind of doing different things with the cards. But the idea of the coin system is that where you play with the 4 factions, there's an order that each faction can go that changes every round.
Right.
So if your flag comes up and you take an action, you're not then going to be eligible for the next round of play.
Yeah.
So there's some real brinkmanship about what point do I take my actions. I'm really conscious about what the other people do. And everyone has very realistic win conditions.
Yeah.
A game which is completely asymmetrical. But A Distant Plane is the chaos of the war in Afghanistan.
Yeah, I'm eager to get back into the coin games. And that last one, oh god, why is it escaping my brain? Colonial Twilight. That's 2 players.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
nice.
that's a brilliant game. But what I wanted to talk about with the Distant Plane, just very briefly, is these guys run it as a team game.
Yeah.
So it's a 4-player game, but they run it as an 8-player game. They use 2 boards, and one board has the markers, the green, the blue markers, as if you are a tactical troop or a commander on the ground.
Okay.
And the other board has the coin control and the political states. And neither person on each board can see the other board.
Oh,
So the
weird.
guys on the ground have no idea about coin control.
Yeah.
Who owns the space? No idea about support. No idea about propaganda or terrorism. And the guys running the strategy, who are effectively would be the people in Kabul, the people in DC, have no idea about the situation of the troops on the ground.
So it's like
And what
coin
they
battleship.
Yeah, it's brilliant. So what they do is they're on different tables.
Yeah.
And the way Onshore Dragoons run it is you have to meet in the middle and discuss. So the guy on the ground's trying to explain, well, the Taliban are in this zone.
Yeah.
This is going on over here. And the strategy guy's going, I don't understand anything you're saying because that's a different picture in DC than I'm getting.
It's like Captain Sonar.
Yeah, it's like Captain Sonar.
Yeah, Captain Sonar, but like 10 feet apart.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But it is a brilliant way of highlighting what a difficult 10, 15-year period the various coalition nations' involvement in Afghanistan was, and the effect of all these different players, because it really simulates the complexity and understanding the 2 different pictures. And I think the coin system is really built for that. And I also got to play Liberty or Death.
Which one?
So
Liberty or Death?
A game very true to my heart.
I
got to play the good guys, and a friend of mine played the US enemy.
Yes.
So that was like a really good game.
Whatever, man.
So we tried to rewrite history. Unfortunately, I failed. We still gave you guys back.
Well, thank you.
That's right.
Yeah, but no, it was just nice to, having done the last 2 Origins.
Yeah.
It was nice to finally be in Origins that had the buoyancy of 2019, the variety of games of 2019, and the variety of attendees.
Yeah.
And then most of us got stuck for an extra day or 2 because of the weather around New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, the Northeast. So we got to play more games.
It's been bananas.
Yeah. So we positive side, we got to play more games that extra day and a half that we were there.
That's good. Busting out some coin games in the airport, I'm sure.
Yeah, busting out in a convention center and being asked to leave because we busted out votes for women and didn't realize they wanted another. They were setting up for another conference and we're like, we've only got 1 more voting cycle to go. Can we keep going? But yeah, just before I drop off, I wanted to. Cool. Some people are in the chat saying, blast. I've had a good time, which is really nice. So thanks, Discover the Meeple. It was great. It was really nice. Yeah. But I played a game from a really, really small publishing house.
Okay.
In fact, it's their first game they put out called Catharsis. And it's from a publishing house. It's on BGG, a publishing house called Cyber Wizards. And they have created their own lore in a fantasy setting. It's a cooperative game that is has some Yahtzee-style play. But every kind of player character has their own deck of cards. That's where the Yahtzee-style play comes in about kind of matching stuff. And then I think the base game comes with 6 boss decks. The artwork is phenomenal. The co-op is great. Really difficult to quarterback, which is kind of one of my criticisms sometimes with co-op games.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like D&D without having a GM. An incredible playthrough. The production quality with the artwork was through the roof. So I did pick up a copy of this game. So maybe people might see this a couple of weeks from now.
Yeah, I'm down to try it for sure.
Yeah, it was brilliant. That's kind of one of my surprise hits of the con. I think this was they've only just fulfilled to backers. They sold out of all their stock on Friday morning.
Oh wow!
So within a day of the hall opening, and then they were just taking pre-orders with free shipping.
Cool,
nice.
Which was really nice because I think from BGG, the size of the box, we are talking maybe like half the size of a Gloomhaven box. Like
Oh,
it's
man.
big.
Nice.
It's big.
And it's got a weird
but yeah, so that
best
was
count.
a
You
nice.
see this?
Does it say
Best with
one or 3 or 4?
3 to 4.
That's
Oh, there's not
weird.
really a lot of
Oh,
votes
okay.
yet. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only just come out, so it plays very well as solo. It's like a choose your own adventure D&D,
Yeah.
and I think it plays nice at either 3 or 4. I think it's nice to have a full set of people. But there was one character which is a dog owner and a ghost dog, and they play a combination. So somebody plays the ghost dog and somebody plays the dog owner, and that was a great novel character.
Nice.
So yeah,
okay.
so
we'll try it out. I definitely want to try this one out.
Sold.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
All right, Ian.
All right, man. Take care. I'm gonna. I'll probably stick around in the chat for a little bit, and then
Please do.
drop off. We're up in Atlanta tonight. I've been up since 3 a.m. So I'll see how long I can stick around. But see you guys soon in person, I hope. And hopefully interesting to hear what other games you guys have been up to this week.
We'll keep talking.
For sure.
Later,
Yeah,
Ian.
man. Take care,
All right.
people.
Bye.
Bye. All right,
There we
cool.
go. Reporter in the field.
Reporter in the field. But that is not the only person that I know went to Origins who is also waiting right now in the chat.
Look at that.
Yeah, he's waving right now. I was gonna bring him right in.
Yeah, why
Just
not?
gonna bring him right in.
He's only going to eat through the
we go.
wires anyway.
That's very offensive to his kind. In 3 and 2 and 1. Hi, Squirrel.
Eat through the wires. What?
I don't know.
How you guys doing?
Good. How are you? How are
I'm
you?
good. I'm
Welcome
good. I'm
back.
good. Still tired and still reeling in from everything that happened at Origins for sure. Like I actually drove there, and
This was your second Origins, right?
It is my second Origins. Yep. It was
So
a
when did you
9-hour
get
drive. I got back at about, I want to say midnight 2 nights ago, and then I had to go to work the early morning the next day.
How was the weather?
Weather was raining every day.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely raining every day.
Jeez.
But no, Origins was a blast. Yes, I did get to go last year, but last year was a lot more for media. I helped out and like went to different kinds of promotional, I guess, spiels that they had about different kinds of games. This year had a bit of that, but for the most part, I think in this Origins it was a lot more lax as far as that's concerned. Still did media stuff, but I got to play a lot of things. Yeah, I mean, I can jump right in if you'd like.
Take it away. Take it away. I'm gonna be as quick as I can on this. I'm gonna
Okay,
type,
sure.
Like this.
So I saw a lot of people there. There was a lot of designers with a lot of their games that have already either been released or that we have talked about before on our channel of the Level Up Board Game podcast. So Dave Beck, who was there, had distilled out and he was showing it off, and he was actually there with the artist, which is his name's Eric. Got to see both of them and get a good signed copy of that. But at the same time, they were demonstrating another game that they were about to come out with called Luthier. Luthier have to do with like building up like your instruments, and there it is right there.
There it is.
Yeah, setting up instruments and just I don't necessarily know if it was like putting on a show or anything like that. There wasn't much details. It was literally just the poster up there. We tried to talk to him a little bit about it. He was a very busy gentleman. I thought we would get back to him and talk to him about it, but unfortunately, no, there wasn't that much time there. So
Yeah, he's a great guy to talk with too.
Oh yeah, he was really great. He was talking to us because I was there with Patrick from the podcast as well, and then he had to like go sell some stuff, go demonstrate his game, which he had like 2 demonstrations out for it. So we let him be, but it was really good to see him.
It says craft musical instruments for patrons through worker placement and hidden bidding.
Well, there you go.
Hidden bidding. By the way, see some. So Ian saying hey to you.
Hey, Ian.
Saying watch out for those wires. Discover the Meatball is saying hello, everyone.
Hey.
Oh, it's Nick. Nick is Discover the Meatball.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Mind blown.
Oh,
I know this. Sorry.
things are figured out. But I got to also play the Lost Ruins of Arnak, the Missing Expedition. I got to,
Cool.
well, not play it, but we got to demonstrate it. We got to see almost everything for it. They had it splayed out in a nice little display. It's going to have like an interesting sounding solo mode. Now, I don't necessarily do solo too much, but it did seem like something that is soloable, or it's also two-playerable. So they
Yeah.
did make it so you could do a two-player campaign. Oh yeah, it says it right there. It has some interesting mechanics. Like it has cards where, like, if you go or do certain things, you have a card that you have to flip over depending on, I guess, what scenario you're doing. And it has like two choices. Depending on the choices you take, it gives you certain things or sends you on a different kinds of mission. Yeah, there's a couple of examples right there.
Yeah.
This is an expansion or a standalone game?
That's a new expansion.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
yeah, you would need the base game because it doesn't come with like a board or anything along those lines. But yeah, you would need the base game to play this expansion, soloable or two-playerable. The only thing I noticed, by the way, is if you do want to play this at 4 players, if you want to play with the expansion at 4 players, you do need the previous expansion because this expansion only gives you two leaders. Two new leaders. So if you wanted to play with the leaders, you would have to incorporate 2 more from the previous expansion in order to do so.
Yeah, it's bad I still haven't played that expansion.
No, man,
I've
it
only
does
played
make it better. It does make
Yeah,
it better.
I know it does. I can tell right away. You know.
I got to see a lot of people there. I got to see Rodney. Rodney Smith. I got to see Dan King, who some people may know as the Game Boy Geek. I got to see and talk to quite a few people from the Secret Cabal. I got to see Sam Healy. He was actually working the Game Toppers booth there. It was pretty nice.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, there was a lot of people there. Oh, and I also got to meet Robbie Damons. If anybody is a fan of Critical Role, the D&D streaming service, he's part of that. But if you don't know him from that, you know him probably as Tuxedo Mask from Sailor Moon, or for those who have played the game that I've hyped up so much this year, which is Hi-Fi Rush. He is the voice of the main character. I got a lot of signatures from him. For me personally, it was for the poster for the Hi-Fi Rush. No, it's a video game.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah. And I got a couple signatures for my wife from him because of Critical Role. That's what she's into.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah. I got to play a lot of previews. So I can talk about previews, games that have yet to be released or talked about. All right. So the first one I'm going to talk about is the first one we actually saw, period. And that's called The Art Project. It's going to be 2023. There's one with ART. There it is down there near the bottom. Yep.
Like acronym.
Oh.
Yeah. Art by Vincent Dutre. There isn't much known about this game. I do have a picture. I'll drop it in the Discord. If you're not part of the Discord, join the Discord.
Oh, thank you. Really.
You're welcome. I will drop it in there. But it's a really, really cool. You are part of an organization that is like Art Savers. You're trying to protect the art around the world against the White Hand, is what it's called. There are thieves from all around the world that try to steal art. Now, the cool thing about this game, it's a co-op. It starts out very, very simple. However, it's your job to make it more difficult for you, because the more difficult you make it for yourself, that's when the art finally appears on the map and you need to go get it and protect it. So like you're building up the difficulty, the art thing appears, you go get it, and then you have to mitigate it down before you have to start up another one. And you have a certain amount of time to do this for, I think, 3 or 4 art projects.
How is that handled gameplay wise?
So there's a card where you have a choice, and it has symbols on it, and you're building out the symbols, and the more symbols there are, the higher the chance for the art to come out. And it's detrimental things. So like you have to choose this pretty bad thing or this pretty bad thing. But as you're putting it out, there's symbols. If there ever is 3 symbols of the same kind, then it is. Trying to remember exactly how it was, but the art eventually comes out when it gets too much, and then if you place the 3rd card with the same symbol, you clear it out, and that removes like some difficulty for you. But at the same time, you need it to be built up to a certain number of cards, I believe. Don't quote me on any of this. This was also demonstrated by someone who didn't really know the game too much either.
You throw that out. Cool.
Yeah, but it seems like a really, really cool concept of co-op, like player-based difficulty, but that's how you have to get the projects on the board. But it does seem very, very quite interesting. The art is beautiful, and again, I'm going to post it in the Discord in the pictures.
Yeah, I mean, Dutrade is no stranger to beautiful art.
Oh no, not at all. One of my favorite artists, period. But that's our art project. That's the first one. The second one that I'm going to talk to you about, I think it will appeal to almost anyone who likes any kind of light-ish co-op games, and that's going to be called Scram. Scram with an exclamation point.
Oh.
There's going to be one.
There's
two actually, but one of them actually has a year on it.
Yeah.
Now
hey,
this one.
Rachel. Rachel's in the chat.
Hey, Rachel.
Scram.
Yes. So in this one, you're playing with teams. So that's why it's saying it's best at 4 and 6. But you can play with like a 2-on-1 kind of deal.
Can I guess what your team is?
Actually, you don't have specific animals. You're actually trying to make animals leave your picnic.
Okay, well, there you go.
Animals are invading your picnic, and you have to get them to go. So you have cards in front of you, but that are mostly face down, and you'll get to turn some of them face up at the beginning of the game.
Okay.
There are animals with numbers like 1 through 13. So if you've ever played the game 9 Holes or golf or something along those lines, I think this plays the same way. What you're going to do is you're going to either draw a card from the deck or draw a face-up card from the middle stack. And you either play the effect of the card. So some cards have actual effects on them. So you place it face up in the discard pile and do the effect. Or you exchange it with a card that you have. So basically you're shooing away a certain kind of animal to place that card in your row face down. So you're trying to get your teammate to understand what cards you have face down, and sometimes they have effects that let them see your face down cards.
Okay.
You don't even know your face down cards until you actually like put a card down there. You have to kind of try to memorize that. But whenever you are making a card leave your picnic area, you could claim other cards to go with it that have the same number. So if like you have that one squirrel in there, you could be like, all right, I'm going to make this one squirrel go, but I also have this one squirrel over here, so I'm going to make that go. And I know that your teammate, your face down card right there is a 1, so push that out. And if they're all 1s, they all leave your picnic. Eventually, you're going to get down to 2 cards, or one of you will, and so you're going to claim Scram, which designates the end of the round or the end of the game. It's going to trigger it. Everyone else has one more turn, and then you flip all your cards over. Whoever has the lowest combined numbers between all the animals in their picnic wins. So squirrels are
skunk was like 13.
Squirrels are great to have because they're only a 1.
Yeah, I see that. That's pretty cool.
But yeah, it's a nice little co-op hidden information kind of game where it's not like a trick taker where you have to give like, I don't know, like a bit of information without actually saying anything, like higher. You have to say like higher, and but that's all you can do in a trick taking game. In this game, you have no information. You just don't know.
By the way, apologies, mispronunciation. It's Scram, right? Because exclamation point.
Yes, with exclamation. You have to.
There you go.
Does the rule book tell you to say that?
Oh yeah, Rachel's asking that. Do you get to verbally say?
Inquiring minds want to know.
You actually no. You don't say Scram with a question mark. You say Scram with an exclamation point. So you were close. You were close.
Yeah. Well, she said all caps.
That's true.
It could
That's
be
fair.
implied at all caps.
Could it be the all caps or with an exclamation point? Same thing.
It could be. You know, they do different things. Different
2 more to talk about
Yes.
that haven't come out yet. So Cosmos has a game coming out called Lord of the Rings Adventure to Mount Doom. This appeals to me quite a bit. Let's see here. Adventure to Mount Doom.
I thought you were going to say Lord of the
There you
Rings
go.
Adventure Time.
I know.
Which could also be.
So many Lord of the Ring games. Okay.
All right. So this one is a co-op as well. It looks like it's a roll to move. That's unfortunately because that's what it is. But that's not how the gameplay necessarily shines. If you can click on that 4th picture, I think the 4th picture might be the best picture. Yeah, it might be. All right, there we go.
The board.
Yep. So that board is set out. If you notice, there's cities. They're in like yellow ovals, and it looks like they have stuff in them. Like at the beginning.
like
At
this
the
one.
beginning, there's the Shire. If I'm not, no, it's
No, hang on. Yeah, I had it. This one's a yellow circle.
Yeah, something like that. It's like Gondor. If you notice, their path goes to Gondor, and then there's Mount Doom at the end. Every single time you make it to one of those milestones, you put out a new set of 6 cards on the bottom of the board. If you notice, it shows 1 through 6 on the bottom. And the middle 4 are face up. The side 2, if you notice, are like kind of brown. They're face down.
Okay.
And what you're going to do is you're going to roll. And you also at the beginning of the game in is that Rinfell? The first place.
Which one?
Far left bottom.
Far left.
Yeah, right there, right there.
This one. Nope.
I don't know why it does that.
I know, right? Come on. See, Bruchtal?
Is it Brutal? I don't know. Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
Either way, that's where you start the game. You're going to put all of the fellow members of the fellowship there. There's going to be 5 sets. There's going to be Merry and Pippin. There's going to be Aragorn. There's going to be Legolas. There's going to be Gimli, and there's going to be the Frodo and Sam. And they're going to be assigned a certain color. And what you're going to do is you're going to roll 2 colored dice of your choice. You want and 2 black die for the first roll. You're going to choose either a colored dice and a black die from that roll.
Okay.
You're going to add a black die. You're going to add another color. You're going to roll those, and you're going to choose a color and a black die from that die as well. Yeah, just like that. That's what it's going to look like. Yeah. So what's going to happen is you're going to do the event of whatever's card is under 6.
Okay.
So the slots on the bottom, you're going to do 6. It could be a good thing if it's someone that helps you out. You put that card up onto the board as a member that's going to help you out at one point in time during the game.
Yeah.
If it's a bad thing, you're going to fight. You're going to roll combat dice. Now you roll combat dice, and for every person that is in front of Sam and Frodo, they get to be in this attack because they're like the forward attack line. They're the forward attack. And so if their symbol shows up, then they have defeated the monster or the enemy. And so, but if you lose, on the left-hand side, there's a tracker for courage. You go up and down that courage track. Yeah, that right there. If you lose that fight, you're going to lose a number of courage. If you get to the bottom, you lose the game.
Oh, that's cool. Okay. Like a tug of war kind of
Yeah.
thing.
If you notice, when 6 is uncovered, you can actually see what it looks like when it's uncovered. You see a Nazgul. Anytime you'd have to have a Nazgul, you add it to that right-hand side near the top where all the Nazguls are. If that ever fills up, you lose the game. You can only win by making it up to Mount Doom. But like between each of the highlighted like yellowish, orangish cities or locations, that's when you refill that stack of cards on the bottom. But you keep on going, choosing whatever workers or whatever people you want to move, and you have to just try to make it as far as you can.
I think the aesthetic.
it's cool.
It's like kind of got that like retro fantasy vibe.
Yeah,
you know.
I do like it too. I mean, even though it's not, it's very obviously not mapped out to look like.
Well,
but you know,
whatever.
Yeah, but you get the whole aspect from it right there. It's not much at all. I got to play a good decent amount of it. We made it to the second city, and we were already not doing so well, but we were doing fine. But yeah, that one is going to appeal to a lot of people, I think.
Okay. That's Lord of the Rings Adventure to Mount Doom. Nice.
Yeah. And the last one is the big one, and it's probably my game of the con. I have already backed the all-in of it, and it's probably one of my most expensive backs of it. And this is because I love Bethesda, and I love Elder Scrolls, which is what this is. This is Elder Scrolls Betrayal of the Second Era by Chip Theory.
Yeah.
We
the
got
one you get the swords for? No.
the swords for.
That was for a different game that Chip Theory did.
That wasn't that game? I thought it was.
Was it? I don't remember.
I think it was.
Yeah. Anyways, go ahead.
Anyway, we got to play with like the head of media consulting, Andrew. He's a really, really funny guy. It's cool because in the con, like Chip Theory was right there, and then they had like a big black, like curtained off area, and they had created a room inside of it. So like they went inside the curtain, turned the handle, and opened it. There was a hidden room, and in there was just a small table with 4 seats and the guy right there to demonstrate the game. But we played a super pre-production version of the game, and yeah, it's going to be everything that I was hoping for in kind of an Elder Scrolls game. There was nothing wrong with the other Elder Scrolls game, the Skyrim one, but this one, Chip Theory, the quality is really, really great. You have a board in front of you. You can choose what kind of character you want to be. You can choose what class. You can choose what kind of magics or skills that you have. We went crazy with it. So I was a Khajiit, which, if anybody knows Elder Scrolls, that is a cat. But I was a dragon knight who used a bow, and I had a pet crab.
Oh, hang on, I need to pause you right here because Brian Chandler just entered the chat.
Hey, Brian.
After us discussing Lord of the Rings.
Oh.
That's why.
Well,
They're saying the magic worked.
he'll have to go back into the video a little bit afterwards. Yes.
All right, go ahead. Keep going.
But yeah.
Elder Scrolls.
We had all right. So our quest we chose. There's quite a few quests in here, and each quest has three chapters of their story. Grand total so far, it seems like there's 24, but that's just pre-production.
Okay.
There could be more than that. That's a lot of stuff that you can do. Anyway, our quest had to do with like within 11 days we had to reach towards the top of the map and complete a quest at the top. For a day, you have one action or two actions that you can do. The action that we chose was move, or go to the town, or complete a side quest.
Yeah.
We had a side quest where there was an Argonian, which is the lizard folk in the game,
Okay.
and for some reason she left us, some couple of strangers, with her eggs in order for her to go get somebody or someone. The father, I don't know exactly, but we were there egg sitting for a while, and we had a choice of either just leaving it and not knowing what happens to it, sitting there for 2 days worth of our time to sit there and watch it, and they would give us a skill point, some experience, or we could eat the eggs.
Say eat it. Yeah.
We could eat the eggs, we could heal, and any Argonian from that point in time for the rest of that chapter would have just fought us, not even give us any slack. We didn't eat the egg. That would have healed us, but we already had full health, so we didn't eat the egg. We were close, though. Eat the baby. We ended up enjoying the game so much, though. Hey, Chris.
Uh-oh.
We didn't eat the egg. That would have healed
What?
us.
I think Dave Grohl has invaded. Hang on. Sorry. Oh, no, it's just Chris Barros. Jeez. From a basement or something.
Did your children tie you up?
Oh, he went to go hide.
There he goes. But either way, this was just a pre-production copy. They still had quality materials. They used chips from their other games, like Too Many Bones. But definitely my game of the con for me specifically, and I'm just looking forward to getting it all.
Nice.
I don't have to talk about much longer, but the last thing I could talk about for the most part, I think, is that I got to finally play Blood on the Clock Tower.
And?
It's werewolf.
Okay.
So
That's what I figured.
it is werewolf. Yes, you do get to stay in the game because you are a ghost as well, and you get to hear things, but you can't participate in a lot of things when you're dead, like voting off people. You can still share information. Everyone gets to share information, but
But there's so much hype behind it.
Yeah, you no longer get information. So, like, there's a lot of roles that get information. I had that role. I was called the Gravekeeper so my role was that every time someone was executed by the town, that told me what character that was. So, like, I found whoever was the something maiden, something maiden.
But
anyway,
again, it's basically just werewolf, but with more roles, and you don't get to truly. I mean, you die, but you can still stick around and do things.
You do stick around, you do things. Yes, it is still trying to deduce who is what. I'm not sure about this game. It's way more fun to me than Werewolf. There's a lot of reasons why this is much better to me than Werewolf is.
But are you a fan of Werewolf?
No, I'm not a fan of social deduction, whatever.
That's what I think is like with the thing with Blood on the Clock Tower. If you don't care about Werewolf, I don't think you're going to care about Blood on the Clock Tower.
I kind of agree with that. Well, I guess it depends. If you
I haven't played it for the record, but it sounds like that's the impression that I get.
If you straight up dislike Werewolf, then you won't like this. If you're on Werewolf, then you might like this. This might change your mind. Who knows? I don't see this changing my mind at $150 price point.
Yeah, and there's that too.
I could what we played. We literally just got a couple of chips, and there was a board that had little chips on it. I'm not gonna lie. I do not see why this is $150. I know there's a lot of scenarios in the game, but I do not see why this is $150. But it was a fun game for what we played.
There were, before I let you go, there were some questions for you.
Oh.
I think this is regarding Lord of the Rings. So if you aren't, no, this might be regarding. I'm not Ian. You can clarify if this is regarding Elder Scrolls or Lord of the Rings. But if you aren't necessarily a follower of the IP, how would you rate the game compared to others of similar ilk?
Oh, I mean, I can go ahead and reply to this to both of them. You don't have to like Lord of the Rings to play this game, to play the Lord of the Rings game. You don't have to necessarily like it. It has enough of a mechanic-based game than an IP-based game or a thematic-based game. Yeah. If you do know Lord of the Rings at least a little bit, you'll understand. You're at the Fellowship. You're going around and you're making sure not to get taken by the Nazgul or Saruman sees you. But for the most part, you don't 100% need to know the IP at all to play this game. It's still fun. It's still fun regardless. As far as the Elder Scrolls is concerned, that has so much theme dripped into it. There are a lot of things that you go into. And I just only played one chapter of one scenario out of 8 to 12 of them. And yeah, there's just... we were talking about it afterwards, and there's a lot of things that you can do in the game, the actual video game, that translates really well to this board game. The buildup of experience, the fact that the monsters level with you. So like if you get enough experience as a team, the monsters will be that much harder. I wish things like D&D kind of did something like that. It does, but like for a board game to be able to get that kind of a memory and to do so is really, really nice. If you haven't played Too Many Bones, do so, because that'll tell you what I'm talking about. What else?
This is a good... Rachel asked if you played some of the Arnak campaign.
As in the base game, or...
No, the campaign that you were talking about that's for 1 to 2 players. Did you get to play at least some of it, or you were just demonstrating it?
They demonstrated every component that's in this expansion.
Got it.
That's all they did. They didn't have their... Well, if they did have their room, it wasn't easy to find. Okay. I couldn't find a CGE room, which according to Origins website, they were supposed to kind of have a room too. But I looked, I went down every hall and I couldn't find a room. If they did, I didn't find it. They did have a booth, and at the booth they were, for the most part, only demonstrating the hidden leaders.
Got it. And then the last question I saw was, Squirrel, did you play with Arwen? I'm assuming Blood on the Clock Tower, and she just heard her discussing her play at Origins.
I did not.
Okay.
So it was me and Patrick of the podcast. We played the game, and we played it. Sadly, we played it with 12 other people, so that's 14 people plus the game master. But one of the people had played it over 100 times because he was also one that teaches the game.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure this could also have been a factor, but kind of that kind of brought the game down a little bit. There was like no sense of discovery in the game. Like if you had never played the game before, there was no chance to really like figure it out or try to do something. The good thing though is he did push the game further, faster, so that like we could get through the demonstration faster. But like we got through the game in about an hour and 15 minutes.
Well, let me bring in counterpoint then, right?
Okay.
Because I have waiting on the deck. I have Arwen in the chat. I'm going to bring her in 3, and 2, and 1. Arwen, hello.
We're gonna have a fight here.
No. Blood.
No.
There's gonna be a rumble tonight.
You're gonna kill me in the nighttime.
Yeah, exactly. No, I definitely agree. Like, I'm not a huge fan of werewolf type games. I think what made our sessions so good was the fact of everybody that was playing. The person that was running it, I don't know who was running your session, Squirrel. Do you know?
I don't have the name. No. Okay. He just had a big beard. He was like bald and he had a big beard.
Okay. Carly Reinhard ran ours, and she was phenomenal. Like, you could go up. She was very new player friendly. And it kind of kept things a little bit even. She knew when to kind of amp things up for evil, when to amp things up for good. She really had a good grip on exactly how to run the game. So, I think our experience was a little bit better because of that.
Okay.
But I think it's also highly dependent on the group that you play with. If you're with a bunch of friends and everything, and just about everybody in there, it's probably going to be a little bit of a better session, I would say.
Yeah,
That's fair. That's fair. I go to a Monday night board game group called the Tipsy Meeple over here in Springfield, in New Jersey, and they had two games during days where I had to host my own thing as well, and just it seems like since they know each other pretty well, all of them enjoyed the games.
Yeah.
Just like I haven't heard any bad things about the games while I was there. I've always wanted to join one, but again, I was hosting my own games that I had already submitted. So it was fun to actually get to play it at Origins, because I do know like the more players, the better, because the more things that could happen, and the more bad people, and the more crazy stuff from the I forgot what they're called, but there's good people, and then there's there's the imp
The
or the bad person.
outsiders, I think.
Outsiders, there we go.
Yeah.
The more of those, the better. That makes it a lot more crazy. But again, I think it was just because like I have an inherent like dislike of werewolf. But I did go into this with an open mind, trying to be like, I'm not going to think of this like werewolf. I just want to see how the game is. It ended up being like werewolf, but again, I do love the whole idea of you stay in the game, you can still talk, you can still discuss, but you just don't receive any more new information. You also can't vote. So like you're relying on other people to listen to you and what information you had gathered before in order to to suss out the bad guys. So again, better than werewolf, quite a bit better than werewolf in my opinion. But it's just, again, it's just not my type of game.
Yeah, exactly.
And I have no chat too are saying that 10 to 12 is the sweet spot. That's what Brian's saying he's heard, and Discover the Meeple agrees with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Our game was 14. It was originally 10, but then like just 4 people without tickets came and said, "Hey, can we play?" And we let them join, because it goes up to 20. I don't know how that would be, but
yeah, Board Game Geek saying it's what was it? I have it over here. Community is 6 to 16, best 8 to 12.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say if you start getting up into that like 20 range, I think that would just be kind of too chaotic. I don't think I'd like that. I really do think that 10 to 12 is the sweet spot for it.
Yeah. All right, Squirrel.
But there you go. I think that's everything that I'm looking at my list, but just beforehand I wrote everything down that I was going to talk about.
Nice.
I guess that's it, other than I guess one last thing that I just saw. There was a game that is completely being swarmed. There's a designer, I think his name is Emmett Anderson. He was getting swarmed by publishers wanting his game. Like a lot of the big named people were fighting for this game. Because they think it's going to like be much better than Cascadia. It's going to be much better than Calico, any other games of that ilk. So I got to play it because
what was it called? Do you remember?
It's called Gnome Hollow. So gnome as in like the little gnomes.
Armin, did you try this one out too?
David the gnome.
I did not see this one.
You probably didn't, because he had his only prototype and he was walking around with it. He didn't have his own booth. Yeah, he doesn't have his own booth. He doesn't have anything. Publishers were like scratching at him, making multiple bids to him.
I just imagine people running at him with pitchforks now.
Oh yeah, for sure. But
we want the gnomes.
But because one of our cohorts of the podcast, his name is William Brown. He's known as the Hungry Gamer. If you've ever seen YouTube, seen the guy eating the box. He's good friends with this guy, and so they let him use it, which in turn kind of let us see it. He taught it to us. But yeah, this is quite a good game. I can see why it's really, really good for a lot of people. You're building these rings and you're collecting these mushrooms and you're selling the mushrooms to a market for points. You're also unlocking skills and abilities on your board by doing these rings, depending on how many tiles were used to create that ring. It's cool. It's a magnetic tile. It's a magnetic tick too. So
don't say that. Now I want to get it.
It's one of those cool light games. I would say it's a little bit more difficult than Cascadia to understand, but there are a couple different modes you can play as well. We played on the easy mode, which only had to do with how many tiles were used in the creation of a fairy ring or a mushroom ring. The normal side is you have to complete them in a certain way. If you go down to that last picture, that one right there, that's the board right there. Those are magnetic magnetic pips as well. So if you notice, just towards the top, there's discs of flowers. At the end of the game, you get points based on the highest point you reach there, but also just underneath of that, if you see those right there, you're unlocking those as well and put them on the board themselves, and you're getting more powers depending on how big the ring was. So like in a level 6 ring, if you scroll down a little bit, you can he put the pick right there, so which that gave him a flower. If he chose the one that had like a +1 hex tile, it means he can place a 3rd hex on his turn the next round, which is very important. But yeah, and it's a communal board too, so like you're trying to fight other people for control of these rings.
That's cool.
But yeah, that's going to be very, very sought after when it actually officially releases. But like I said, he has about 12 publishers trying to get this game from him, so he's working on that.
Nice.
But yeah, that officially is the last game that I have to talk about, and I know I took up a lot of time.
That's all right.
I apologize about that.
It's
a
big con. So
yes, it was.
I actually had a question. Did you find space for all those games that you were hauling down the hallway?
uh-oh.
These.
Yes.
So
did you extend? Yeah. Let me see.
So in the con, I sold about 88 games.
Close up cam. Here you go.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Well, I mean, this is only a part of it.
Jeez.
I sold 88 games.
Humble
and
brag, right?
I managed to get around 40. But yeah, this is most of it. These are the ones that I've yet to play or haven't played before. But yeah, I put quite a few that I have played before and just wanted again on the shelf right here.
Yeah.
But yeah, a couple things. So
Hey, you did good with that. No,
I really did.
I mean, selling off 88 and going down to about half, that's pretty good.
Yeah, especially and the money I made managed to pay for the con, paid for the gas, paid for the food, paid for a couple games, and I had a bit left over. So yeah,
Profits.
Yeah, stonks.
Yeah. All right, Squirrel. Get out of here before we hate you more.
It was a pleasure. I'm looking forward to hearing.
I mean, in the nicest way, by the way. I could joke around like that with him.
I got you guys something.
Oh, jeez.
I got you guys something at the con. I think I have it right.
Oh.
I don't have it on me. But I got you guys a couple things from the con.
Oh, all right. Well, surprise us.
I will.
All right.
Take care, guys.
Bye, Squirrel.
Hello, Arwen.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Welcome back.
It's good to be here.
Yeah, we are always welcome here, and I want to hear about your origins experience.
Well, I would have turned on my camera, but I'm still very much in recovery mode from everything. It was 5 days of pure chaos and just walking around. The really nice thing, as I said in my wrap up that released this morning, was the fact that I actually got to be a con goer for a couple of days, which was amazing. It wasn't to say that I wasn't, handling business and that during that time, but so much of the past couple years has just been taking meetings and trying to push as much as I can, and now it's more keeping up those relationships and just saying hi and that kind of thing. So I actually got to walk around and demo some things and look at some vendors and talk to some people. So that was really cool. I was going to talk about the Elder Scrolls game that Chip Theory is coming out with that Squirrel was talking about. And I definitely agree. There is so much content with that game. It's absolutely wild. I think the price point is, it's going to be worth it no matter what. I mean, if you're a fan of the Elder Scrolls, that is one that you are going to get the feeling of it. Thematically, it was just a really, really fun game. How
much was it?
I wanted to say it was upwards of like 500.
Oh, moly.
To get all the content, I believe. You might have been able to get in for lower, but to really get all the content, you were talking about that price point. Let's see.
If I were to late pledge right now, Let's see. I'm not doing it right now. Just
Okay, so 195 base.
base, yeah. 230 gameplay bundle. So an expansion.
All in was 400. Okay.
But then there's probably shipping on top of it too, right?
More than likely, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you got your add-ons and all that
Yeah.
good stuff. But yeah, it's one that if I pledged, it was going to be, well, I want to get everything.
Right.
But there is just so much content that they're pouring into this thing. And we had a really good time playing it. I think my biggest kind of hang up about it, not backing it, would be that it's very similar to Too Many Bones.
Yeah.
And how it plays. And that's both a positive and a negative. You know, as far as getting into it and getting into the gameplay and dipping your toes in, I think it's great because you've got a lower barrier to entry if you've already played Bones. I think it does a lot of cool stuff in addition to what Bones does. The cooldown track was like one of my favorite things that you could manage to get some of your dice that you had spent back.
In this game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right down at the bottom there.
Yeah.
So at the end of every turn, you basically have the dice that you spend that go down into this track, and you get a certain amount of them back that you can then slot. So if you take fatigue, there's like blank dice that go in there, but all your spent dice go in there. So you do get them back during the fight. So it's not like they're lost. You use them once and then, they're gone forever. So that to me is such a cool mechanic, and it's so different. Like that kind of separates it for me.
Yeah.
And then the theme on top of it as well.
Sure.
So
Brian's saying, it's the bargain Gloomhaven.
I
don't know.
I don't know about that. I'm almost at the point with this. I'd rather play this than Gloomhaven.
Okay.
And
Strong words.
I want to say the same about TMB, to be honest. You know, at this point, I don't know what it is about it. It's kind of personal preference at this point.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of how I felt about it.
Brian's also recommending your episode, by the way.
Oh,
Great
thank you,
overview of the
Brian. Thank you. And I saw Ryan also made the comment about cooldown, and it is quite a different mechanic.
Nice. I still haven't played Too Many Bones.
Oh, you have to. You gotta
to
play that sometime.
I know. Yeah, I won it in an auction. It's just sitting there though. Just the base game.
It would be very difficult for me to get my game to you because I've got the giant treasure trove and it's almost filled.
Well, Ian, that was earlier on the chat, he has everything and he lives nearby, so I can always just
there you go
play there. You know, that's the advantage, right, of having board game friends close by.
Yes, absolutely.
So, what other games have you checked out? What were some highlights that you want to show off on the channel?
So, a couple of things I checked out while I was there. Beer and Bread was one that some people have already gotten to take a look at it, and it's a game that obviously came out last year, but this was my first experience with it. And we sat down to a demo of it, and it just hit for me instantly. Yeah. It doesn't necessarily do anything new. There's a lot of recycled mechanics in it. You have multiple purpose cards, not just dual purpose cards, but actually triple purpose. You have the lowest of the two scoring, so you have to make sure that you balance your scores. Your resource gathering is based on what you've already done that round.
Right. And you're limited to whatever's actually available.
Correct. Yeah. So resource limitations. You're drafting back and forth. But it does everything in a way that's just so satisfying, and it puts everything together. Yeah. That's one thing that I want to see new things being developed. But if you can put a whole bunch of different stuff that I really like in a package that I like even more, Sometimes the sum is greater than the just the parts themselves.
Yeah. No, I enjoyed it when I played it too. Yeah, Barrows is saying, fantastic game. Beer and Bread hits. It's a winner without being innovative in
Yeah, I really
animation.
want to try this one.
You would like it.
Yeah.
I think this is definitely a you kind of game. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, he has it. You could just borrow his copy.
I'll just borrow it, and it's gonna sit on my table like the game I borrowed from you. And he already left one at my house the other day. I haven't
know.
played yet.
I know.
It's awful. Don't give me anything, please.
Okay. Okay.
Well,
I'm just
I
gonna
think
hold it
that
hostage.
the benefit of this is it's very snappy and it is very quick. So it is something that you can get to the table, I would say, within a half an hour, maybe a little bit more if you include the teach.
Yeah.
So it's really not bad.
Yeah. Yeah, and what I like about it the best, to be perfectly honest, is what comes out of it, because the box is pretty small.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like we're talking like maybe like like a little bit bigger than like a patchwork box. I feel like, right?
Yeah.
And you get a nice little board going on.
Yeah.
You know, I like that.
Impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad you talked about Beer and Bread. That's one, and we played that one at PAX Unplugged, Barrows and I. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sad that this is my first chance getting to play it. But again, it's been so much about taking meetings with pubs that this one hasn't necessarily come across my radar until I was looking through the previews, and
Yeah.
it was always in the back of my mind. But I made a concerted effort this time to really sit down with it.
Oh, hey, Mr. Rouse in chat.
Mr.
Howdy, Mr. Rouse.
Yeah.
So what are some other games that stood out?
So another one that we played quite a bit of was a game called Gap. This one was from Arcane Wonders. They've done the printing of it here in the U.S.
Not this one. Gap?
It is that one,
Oh,
yeah.
it is this one, okay.
And it's surprising that it's a 6.0 because we had a lot of fun with it. It is extremely lightweight.
There's Arcane Wonders, yeah.
But the best way that I could describe it, and I'm not doing it justice, but it is a game where you have these cards, and unfortunately, there's no images of the cards on there. It looks like.
Yeah. I'll be able to find some on Google. You keep talking, I'll find it.
So there's the cards have a suit, and then they have a large number and the two numbers that straddle it. So, for example, if you had a 6 value card, you'd have a very small 5 and 7 next to it. So you have a card row that is filled with 4 different cards.
Okay.
And when you play your card, you're going to have a hand of cards to start off with. You're going to play all of those during the course of the game to your tableau. But when you play the cards, if you play it and there's a card, there we go.
There we
Nice.
go. Found
Okay.
it.
So if the big number matches any of the cards that are in the card row, you
Mm-hmm.
take, any of the cards that have that big number that are there. And then
Okay.
that's your turn. If none of those show up, you look at the smaller numbers. And then you can take, if we look at that 3, for example, you have a smaller 2 and a 4. And if you look at the card row there's a 2. If there was also a 4, you could also take the 4.
Okay.
But you can only take one of each for that. If you had the 3, you could take all the 3s that were in the row.
Got it.
If you had nothing, you just put the card directly into the row and don't get anything, which you may want to do, because the scoring mechanic in this is you take your highest amount of cards in one suit. So basically your highest suit that you have. So say I had 3 of the little pointy dot things. And then you subtract the least of a suit that you have. So say I have 2 of the hexagons.
Okay.
So 3 minus 2 would be 1. And that would be your final score.
Okay.
The catch of it is if you have multiple, in either your high or your low that are even. So basically, if I had like 3 of the pointy dots and then 3 of the shields, I'd add those together to make 6.
Mm.
So you're basically trying to get a lot of your high suit and then basically 1, if you can, of your low suit.
Okay.
I know I'm not doing it justice, but it was a very fun, quick, little snappy card game that you might bring out. Again at a pub night as an opener, just as a filler. We had a good time with it. Really good production quality as well. Arcane Wonders sold out their entire inventory during the convention because people kept playing it and then seeing it, and people kept going over to the booth and grabbing it.
Yeah.
But they did have a deal where if you bought it at the convention price, they would ship it to you for free.
Oh, cool.
So they took down your address. I've never really seen a company do that at a convention where you can still get the product and they will just ship it to you for free. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Nice. Well, you said it was a small box too, right?
Yeah, super small box. They were also doing that for the Furnace expansion, which I completely blanked on and probably should have done that as well.
Have you played Furnace yet?
I've played the base. I haven't played the new expansion for it.
Yeah, Interbellum is what Boarding Geek is saying. Yeah, Interbellum. I haven't tried either, to be honest. I have it. I got it as a gift. The base game. I haven't played it yet though.
I really like the base game. I really find it to be super snappy, and just kind of hits for me. I'm interested to see what the expansion does. I don't even know like all of the stuff that it adds other than your adjustable bid markers that come with it. But I did find it fascinating.
All right, cool. So what was the game? What was the game of the con for you?
So I would. First of all, my experience with Blood and the Clock Tower, I think, was kind of like the moment of the convention for us because it was so rambunctious.
Yeah.
And again, it was just this, just the event in and of itself. It wasn't that the game was so good.
Yeah.
It was the players that were involved with it. It was kind of how the game played out. Yeah. If I just sat down with a bunch of random people, I'm sure that wouldn't have been the same experience that I had. But you had like Grant Lyon, you had Ascadelia Hatris, you had myself, Jamie, Court Sakmar, a bunch of other content creators that were there, nice. Chris Goodlett. So it was just. Also Roberto Lopez is sheer boredom.
Okay.
So a very fun room.
Yeah. And
a fantastic GM on top of it. So.
Man. So I got to play it the right way.
Yeah,
like.
you got it. That's on like the fantasy camp version with all those awesome people. So if you can set that up, sure.
Yeah. Nice.
It kind of has to be like at the convention with a bunch of convention friends that or are adjacent to you that kind of are cool. As far as having the same vibes as you do. Yeah. So that that everybody's gonna kind of play well together. There is a potential for some very like hurt feelings, especially if you're bluffing and, some people take that the wrong way. Yeah. You're lying to them the entire night. But that is the one place where you go in, you leave that on the table and you say, listen, this was a game. It's fine. We're done.
We're done.
That's funny.
Nice.
But I would say as far as the gameplay itself goes, the game of the con that really struck me was Inside Job. And
yeah, Nick was talking about that one earlier today.
yeah, it was a review copy that I got, and I hadn't had a chance to play it yet. Court from Cosmos had sent it to me, and I really wanted to get it out to the table. She had described it as basically the Crew with social deduction.
Yeah.
And it just hit. We just kept playing this and had a fantastic time with it.
Oh, I see. Oh, there's different missions, right? It
Yep.
looks like.
Yeah, so much like the Crew, basically you're trying to complete missions as a team. There's a win condition for the agents who are kind of your good guys, and then one person is an imposter. As far as the base game goes, there are roles that you can add in that kind of spice things up a little bit once you get your feet wet with the game. But the agents are trying to complete these missions. The imposter is trying to collect 5 briefcases. So while you're completing these missions, the high trick, or basically the person that takes the trick, always gets a briefcase. So you want to make sure that you spread those briefcases out as well, and you're not piling them up on just one person. So what missions you come out with are also very important as you're playing this. So we had one game that ended instantly, and the rest of them went to a vote. So yeah, very, very fun. I would recommend that people know what they're doing as far as trick taking before getting into something like this, because you do have that hidden role element. I even said on my podcast this morning, start with a game like Fork or The Crew, build people up and build that competency up, and then go to Inside Job, which to me, I prefer to The Crew because you have that element of the kind of traitor character.
I should try this. Yeah, this sounds like my kind of thing too. I really like when trick taking goes in like weird directions. Like The Crew is fantastic. The co-op trick taking for sure. Cat in the Box was great.
Yep.
Wicked and Wise, I love. Inside Job sounds like you're going in a weird direction. Let me try it out. I like it.
Have you ever played Shamans?
Not yet. It's on my to try list.
It's kind of in the same vein, but not quite. And I won't get into a full explanation of it, but it does have those hidden roles.
Yeah. I should try that one out too. Yeah. I will add it to the want to play.
Yeah, that one is very difficult to get your hands on right now. In fact, I had T. Kyrez asked where I got my copy of it, and I was actually fortunate enough to get it in the flea market at Origins for $10.
Oh wow!
After I had played it, but the publisher doesn't have any copies of it left right now. So
yeah. All right. Well, Arwen, always a pleasure, and we'll see you. Well, by the way, definitely drop a link in the chat with your podcast, Cardboard Time.
Will do.
And we'll see you later.
All right. Thanks for having me on.
Bye, Arwen.
Bye.
Ah.
All right. So, we have one more caller. That I'll bring in, who's shaking the camera a lot.
I think the dog should come back.
I think so too. Oh, here he goes. 3 and 2 and 1. Oh, that was a good boy.
That's not Hershey. That's Bucky.
Bucky.
It's Bucky.
That's Bucky. Hey guys.
Hi, why don't you introduce yourself, stranger?
No, absolutely not. No, hey guys. Obviously, wish I could be there in person tonight. Solo parenting. So here we are. But want to make sure I buzzed in. We did get to play some games. I wasn't at Origins. I was at your house.
You were.
So, which is which was fun. I was okay with that.
You know, the way you put it.
There's like Gen Con and then Gen Can't. What's the origins? Zaborigins?
Onorigins?
Oh man,
Ignorigins?
Ignorigins. That's a good one. Ignorigins. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. Well, look, no, it was good times, and it's been cool to hear all these stories from Origins. I appreciate all our, in-depth field reporters coming
Make
to
it
us.
one day.
But we did have some good times, and I wanted to note just in terms of games played, because I played some games, obviously, as you guys know, but my most enjoyable gameplay of this month is an important one, which is Undaunted Stalingrad. And I just want to note
earlier.
Yeah, I know. Don't bring it up. Just because I finally got a win, which I was finally after a bunch of games where I just couldn't pull it out, and then boom, got the win. But it's been a busy month. I actually double checked it. I played 50 games in June so far. So I've been really busy with games this month, which is great because it's been, I don't know, May felt like I didn't get as much in, and it's true. I only got like 35 games in May.
Yeah.
So it's been nice to kind of bump that up. And a lot of those came on my birthday. So that goes to show you how many games I played in May. I mean, there was like 5, 6, 7. So, but hey.
So tell me, go ahead. What game stood out to you then?
This month, games, period. Well, let's talk about this. The other night, and we're going to do a full review on this, I think, next episode. Call board. But we did get a chance to play Food Chain Magnate.
Whoa. Yeah. Whoa. You got a chance to play Food Chain Magnate.
Well,
I get it taught to you.
I did.
Beautiful. Spoilers on my review, by the way. It's quite high.
So it's funny. First and foremost, let's take this moment to talk about the fact that we have said we want to play each other's top 20s, right?
Yes.
So this was part of that.
It's my number 2 on the list.
But you have told me that you thought I was going to like this game, and you were correct. So when it gets to reviews, I have a lot of positive things to say. I will talk about my score and all that when we get to review. But for me, this game was really interesting. And one of the things that did stand out was something you had said. You've talked about this game being unfriendly to beginners. And I thought that this was a very well-run game by you. I encourage people to go watch the video because you played it with us, but you took away one of the biggest and most important ways to score, which was these accomplishments you could have, the milestones. Yeah. And so I want to commend you for it.
I took it away from myself. I let you guys still play the milestones.
Right, but I can see how brutal this game was, but oh my goodness, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. You definitely got to be ready for it. It is highly interactive, though, and I think if you like interactive games, this is the game people should try.
Yeah.
Because every move is interactive, no matter what you do.
Even the very beginning of the game, when you're deciding where to start, it is crucial. It is crucial that you go into a right spot. Your very first card you get in the game, it is crucial you get like a certain card to go for.
Did you still win despite giving him that?
Came dead last.
Okay. Wow. All right.
Dead last.
Oh no! Legitimately, by not having those milestones, it was a handicap. I mean, it's and it does have this runaway mechanic as we kind of talked about.
Yeah.
But I will say, even though I wasn't going to win, I was having fun the entire time, which I don't always say. So it was impressive to me. I really was impressed by it. The other one I want to mention, and we've talked about this game a little bit, but I played a game that I think ultimately it catches my eye for a few reasons. I don't know if I need to own it, but it definitely is a table attention game, and it's a table hog of sorts. Anthony, you and I played a game together, and that was Mountain Goats, which I had never played before.
Is it really a table hog?
It is a bit of a table hog.
It's interesting because the box is really small.
Yeah.
It's a little square, but it's packed to the brim.
Yeah, I see that then.
It is. It takes it takes up a ton of space. I joked with Anthony when we played this that this needs the the mini feature
Yeah,
'Cause
Tiny Epic
the
Mountain Goats.
Tiny Epic version,
Yeah.
Tiny Epic Mountain Goats. But it is very much, it has that can't stop vibe. And I found this really interesting. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I'm not running out to buy it at the MSRP in particular, but I do think it was fun and enjoyable and a very light affair. I think if this was smaller, I could see it being great at a dinner table, those sort of things, or when you're out. But it was fun. I do like
Looks
the fact
cozy.
that
I don't know what that thing is in the bottom right corner. That separate little, is that a score track?
It looks like it.
I don't have that.
Oh.
what is that?
I don't know. I'm very intrigued.
Oh. Well, let's zoom in.
There it is. Yeah, it's some sort of score track or something.
Huh.
Mountain
Oh,
goat
man.
track?
Interesting.
I don't know.
You search the BGG files, maybe you'll find it. But no, I just wanted to note this one because I had never played this. I'd heard positive things about it, and I think it's a delightful little game. Like I said, not rushing out to buy it because I think the size of it is just a lot for that box size. But I think it's fun, and if someone asked me to play it, yeah, I'd have no problem. I'd jump into a game. It's got that can't stop vibe, obviously. So
Yeah.
Rachel, by the way, is saying that she wanted hamburgers and pizza after our game of Food Chain Magnate, the advertising work.
oh,
And Discovered a Meeple saying that he loves Food Chain, hope to play it soon. Last time someone cornered burgers and mass advertised lemonade to counter. Definitely has a slow build to it. Yeah, and you know what? Maybe we start up the online gaming of it because there's a whole site dedicated to it. It's kind of wonky, but it's fine.
if it works, yeah.
We can async it. You know.
I just want to note, though, like I said, I think some fun gaming this month. That game was definitely a blast for me. I really did enjoy it. We played some games after, too.
Well, you also have to play Marvel Dice Throne.
Yeah. I need to play it more. I'm very undecided on my feelings on it. Like,
I didn't like it.
it has the card upgrade factor. Like when I played this game with Anthony, and I was getting the upgrades, but he had these other little helpful cards that he kept getting that gave him extra rolls and stuff, and I wasn't getting them. And then my upgrade rolls weren't landing, so I don't know
It's a lot
like
of
how
luck.
I feel yet. I need
It's
to
a
play
lot of
more.
luck in that it's dice rolling, but it's also a lot of luck in what cards you're going to get. You might not get many upgrades at all. But I like it because I don't know. I like to play as it's fun to play as different characters because it definitely plays differently. Like you played as Captain Marvel. I haven't played as her yet. I haven't played as her or
Loki, Doctor Strange.
I don't
Black
have the
Panther,
Doctor Strange or
Black Widow.
Black Widow one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Naming characters.
Yeah.
No, because there's a bunch. And the other thing, the only other one there is one I wanted to note.
Okay, Daniel.
Before I want to jump away a little bit very briefly because I did go to Target and I grabbed, now the name's in my mind and it's like not on BGG when I went to search
The
for it.
Sushi Go one?
Yeah, the sushi.
It's
It
is on BGG now.
it is on BGG
spin
now.
some dim sum.
Spin some dim sum. Oh, there's no photo. So spin some dim sum. I have to tell you, it is inspired by Sushi Go. It is not a Phil Walker Harding design. I want to point that out.
Right.
That's important to people because if Phil Walker Harding does something, people tend to like it. But I want to note this game was a lot of fun. My family and I played this. It moves really quick. The gameplay, I think, for us took 20 to 25 minutes with a learn. And I really enjoyed it. It has this neat mechanic of you've only got so many chopsticks at the start of the game. And when you choose to use them, you put them on the tray. And that's allowing you to spin it one direction or the other to get maybe what you would like. But that means other chopsticks are going to go into other players' hands on other turns. And those chopsticks are really valuable. But you decide to say play 2 chopsticks to move the board 2 slots over. Has a direct impact on everyone in that moment, and you could totally have this. It's just got a level of interaction that I really enjoyed. And again, it played very quickly, I'd say 20, 25 minutes. So we really enjoyed this one. If I was to rank it from the Sushi Go world, I like it better than the dice rolling version. Sushi Go, the original, is still the best. but I really liked this one quite a bit. It was a lot of fun.
I agree, by the way, with Rachel that you're making me hungry. We should stop talking about it and talk about it for a review in the future.
Yeah, we'll do a review, but I wanted to talk about that one. I'll go into more detail. I want to get more plays of it in before I start rating that one. So, but yeah, that's some stuff I've been playing, but it's been fun hearing everybody talk about Origins. I want to thank everybody for calling in on that and for all the great comments tonight. A lot of stuff learned. And I apologize when I jumped in earlier because administrative access, I jumped right into the screen. I did not intend to jump scare the hell out of you guys.
That's okay, but I'm not letting you go just yet.
Sure.
Because I'm going to talk about one game I played with you this month.
Okay.
And then you could jump right in and talk about a game you played with him this month.
Okay.
Why not? Right? Why not? So, this month, I did, and we reviewed this the last time, but I do just want to highlight it again. This is a Hollandspiel game that was for 2 players that I really enjoyed, and when I played it, I'm like, Barros, you're going to love this game.
Yep.
It's called The Field of the Cloth of Gold. There's a lot of those in it.
Yeah.
This is a fantastic game.
Yeah, a lot of
I
those.
love this game.
Yeah. So it's passive aggressive gift giving, the board game. That's what it is.
Nice.
It's really fun. You get to play either as the King of France or the King of Britain, and you're just King of whatever, England. I don't know. Ian can clarify.
King of Ian.
He's in the chat. But yeah, actually, Ian showed me this one, and it's passive aggressive gift giving, where you are going to different spots with your little cylinders over here, and then you are giving a tile to your opponent, and then you're scoring the different tiles. It's 20 minutes to play, and what I really love about it is it's constant of, oh, I don't want to go there. Oh, I don't want to go there either. Oh, I don't want to remove this piece because then that gives you an opportunity to take something. It's a lot of that going on.
Sounds like Lost Cities.
Yeah, it's got that vibe to it, like that Lost Cities vibe. It's got even like a little Targi kind of vibe too, in terms of the poking with daggers.
That's a good, absolutely. That's a good way to describe it. Those are the 2 games that made me think of, because there was a lot of that. Oh, I don't want to do this, but at the same time, there's also that ability to make a move knowing I need to stop you from doing something as well. And it was the 2 thoughts that went through my mind. And it was a highly interactive game because when you went to a spot.
Yeah, super interactive. Yeah. My kind of 2-player game for sure. And,
yeah.
And then when I was playing, I'm like, yeah, you're going to like this one about how, Caddy is. Yeah, Kings of England and France. There you go.
Well, Ian points it out there, just a 3-week party in which 2 kings are just trying to essentially outdo each other. I mean, that's it. And it's fantastic. And it works. I really enjoyed this.
So yeah,
and you knew I would like it, Ryan, I'd say. This fits so into my... As I talk about...
I would like this one too.
I like the way it sounds.
Yeah.
Is this based on a real real event?
Yep, June 1520.
There you go.
Ballingham.
There met the young and glorious Kings of England.
I have to tell you,
the rule book is written all like old. No, it's not in script, but it's written like
like this,
like hark. No, in the rules, like it's
like the language,
like the language in it. God. Yeah, it's so.
I do
funny.
have to tell you guys we're going to have to do 2-player lists again at some point, because my lists have been totally screwed up since last time that we did it, and I am torn on the bottom half of my 2-player games at this point.
We could do another Call Aboard episode of it. That'd be cool.
Yeah, we don't need to rush it. We did one. We did one at one point. We can wait a few more months. I'm just saying, eventually we're going to have to do the updated 2-player list, because we played some great 2-player games.
Right?
Top 2-player games, part 2. Yeah, there we go.
And I do agree with Ian. Amabel has the coolest designs, for sure. All right, go ahead.
What happened?
What game did you play with?
We played 4 games altogether that night. We already mentioned 2 of them.
Yep.
Mountain Goats and Marvel Dice Throne. We also played Super Mega Lucky Box, which is a really fun, quick.
That's also a top 20 game. I think it was on Danielle's list.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I do like this one.
This one's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
board game bingo.
And it really is.
Yeah.
It's like scratch offs. Basically, a a lot of combinations here. Oh, I finished this row, which gives me a 7, which goes here and finishes this column, which gives me a star, and blah, 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 blah. It's addictive.
And it's got that Schoolhouse Rock kind of vibe to it.
It's very funky looking.
That's what it is. It's Schoolhouse Rock. I couldn't think of the look, what it was,
And
but
Phil
you're right.
Walker
That's
on
what
it.
it is. Schoolhouse Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one, when this game first came out, I saw the cover and I was like, oh, okay, that looks like Schoolhouse Rock, but what is it? And then I saw pictures of the cars and I was like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I saw, I think it was Kavre's video that really sold me on this game. They just had so much fun with it, and I played it at Dice Tower Retreat a couple years back, and it instantly went on my to buy list.
I heard about it at I think it was maybe 2 years ago. No, it must have been. Oh yeah, it was. It was 2021. It was at S'mores and Meeples, which was a board game camping convention.
That's right, you talked about that.
And one of the campfires next to us, we asked them like, what game stood out to you? They're like, best game I played here, Super Mega Lucky Box.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So ever since then, I wanted to play it. I'm glad I did.
Yeah, that's a great one. And then the first game we played was actually your copy of Acropolis.
Yeah.
So that was cool because I had played that once before, but Lauren had not, and I knew that she would like it. And it was
Anthony,
a lot of fun.
tell me. I don't know if you agree with me, but I like it plays so well online. Like it really does work online. But the physical version of it, and there's just it's this like slightly extra thick cardboard, and I feel like there's just something with this one. It's what makes board games maybe.
Yeah.
That this one on the table physically for me, like there was just something special to that compared to, even though it works online, stacking those tiles and
stacking them, rotate them, see which way is going to cover which thing, and I don't know if it was me and you or me and Lauren. Two of us really like hosed ourselves at one point and left us just this gap that was physically impossible to actually fill in. It was such a waste. You actually ran away with this one. You beat us down pretty bad. That's because you own the game, though.
Yeah.
I also knew the game. I mean, in all fairness, so
I think I kicked your butt the last time I played with you.
I think you did.
Did I? Good. I feel good about that. See,
I had to try this out on Board Game Arena. I'm assuming.
Yeah, but no, I played his copy in person because we played a bunch on Board Game Arena, but then we finally played it in person.
I think we got to chalk this up for a future review.
Oh yeah,
it's prepared. We got the plate
ready. Did we not?
Did we?
I don't know. We'll check.
We're gonna have to double check that one. Double check. But yeah, that one's fun. I do want to note, by the way, before I go, obviously we played a bunch of games. We did play a few games that after the fact on Saturday and had some good times. But I wanted to note, I did go to Board Game Arena and played the most random yet stupid yet fun game that I sometimes play online. I challenged Danielle to a match of Dungeon Roll. You don't need to bring this up, but I do not know what it is about Dungeon Roll. That game, it's from 2013. Chris Darden, the designer. It's something fun and silly about this rolling dice.
Oh,
and
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
fighting. You have a certain work about certain dice work against certain monsters. The treasure chest open. I couldn't. Yeah, I think I'd have to play the physical dice version of it to really truly understand the scoring, because I think at this point I just know which can fight which.
I feel like I might.
But yeah,
I feel like I might.
Where's he going? He does this sometimes.
I feel like I might. So my coworker, he used to have this game, and then I think I grabbed it from him because he got rid of a bunch of games. Man, maybe I don't.
I just left because you got up and started searching for it. But look,
yeah, I thought I did. No, because the thing was, he gave it to me like it was a big black velvet bag.
Oh yeah, that's like the special one.
Oh,
that might be it.
There's a special one. That might be it.
Look at that. You got the deluxe edition.
Let me keep looking. It's over
I don't
there.
know.
I saw it the other day. It's somewhere behind this stuff.
I've set him on a search, everybody. But yeah,
it's like I feel like Geraldo Rivera right now, right? Because he did that whole thing with.
I'm not calling him Geraldo.
What, he went to OJ's house?
No, he went to Al Capone's vault. The Al Capone's vault, right?
All I can say, I was playing that online with
I'll post it on
Danielle.
the Discord.
I'll just say that it was fun. It's a delightful little game, and
Found it.
Oh my goodness.
oh my god,
Found it.
It's not even in this room.
Oh no, it's called Dungeon Dice.
Oh, goodness.
Sorry.
oh that's definitely different. Is that just a bunch of dice in a bag?
I don't really know.
pretty
to be
freaking heavy.
honest. Okay, now it's like, what's in this bag? A rule book.
It's a new game.
Oh, thank you.
What's in this bag? New segment for the show.
Yeah, I don't know. Never even
Okay,
tried it.
so there's a rogue dice, there's wizards and knights and barbarians.
I don't know. Dungeon Dice.
Yep.
Sorry for the confusion.
All right. Well, on that note, I'm gonna give you guys back the reins. I'll put it to Bucky Cam one more time for you.
Oh, Bucks.
There he is.
Bad doggy.
Bucky.
See you
All right,
later.
guys. Have a good night.
All right, later. Cool. All right, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, this is like all straight up Dungeons and Dragons.
I pulled it up over here. Yeah, I don't know what the heck this thing is. I still haven't tried it, obviously.
Gelatinous cube.
Yeah. Okay. But we do have a segment that we did want to talk about. Briefly, we'll talk about some different news highlights that have happened this past month.
Yeah.
Which, that's something that I think would be cool.
Newsworthy.
You know? Boop, 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 boop. Okay. So I'll talk. All right. So not really. I mean, is this really constitute news? Not really. It is more like us. It is more like me advertising right now that my favorite board game is back on streaming. I mean, on crowdfunding. Gloomhaven has a second edition coming out, and I'm likely gonna back the upgrade kit. There's an upgrade kit for it. They have a campaign too where you can get all these miniatures for Gloomhaven. I think that's excessive. I actually like the standee portion of Gloomhaven. Like let the miniatures be the good guys, and then the bad guys are all cardboard that we can just knock down. So yeah, Gloomhaven second edition. Also, Gloomhaven is coming to Nintendo Switch, which I think is pretty dope.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
I heard there's rumors of a, like, Jaws of the Lion version of the Frosthaven game, which wouldn't be surprising.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Either, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And then the other game that I'm currently backing on GameFound is Phantom Division, which just came out today. Phantom Division is let me scroll back up. It's the sequel to SEAL Team Flicks, which I'll scroll down to a picture of SEAL Team Flicks. There's SEAL Team Flicks. It's a cooperative dexterity game.
Okay.
Where you are flicking around different bullets and shooting different bad guys and having like shots ricochet off of walls.
Okay.
And trying also like hide and not create a lot of noise. But that is now in space. So and it's produced by Elzra. So
I don't know who that is.
they did Catacombs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, anyways, Phantom Division. I'm excited about that one. Okay, those are just games that are on crowdfunding that I'm checking out. What about you? Anything?
Am I backing anything right now? Oh, I backed a game called Sharks.
Sharks.
I saw
Kickstarter?
this. Yeah. It's over, but I don't know when it's supposed to ship.
Oh, Sharks.
Sharks. Sorry,
Sorry.
yes, Sharks.
This one.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool because there was a little bit of an educational value to this as well. If you read like a little bit of the backstory and stuff, and it's just anything with sharks in it is going to grab my attention.
Sure.
At first, there's cool components there.
Oh, cool. Are you different sharks?
Yeah, you're different sharks going around eating different food. And I think there's also like hazards to avoid, like if you eat too much junk, like some sharks just kind of like eat everything.
Yeah.
So there's some garbage. Yeah, there you go.
I've seen one eat a rocking chair.
There you go.
Sorry.
You need it. You need a car, dude.
Sorry. All right, this is the portion where we just start quoting Jaws. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. That's it. Jaws. I mean, look, that's why it catches my eye, right?
Yeah.
That's the
No,
whole,
I get
that's the whole connection there for sure.
I'll try it. Oh, Rachel's
Oh,
back to
Dog
the
Park has an
Waypoints.
expansion. Yep.
And the Dog Park expansion. Pre-order My Little Pony deck builder, the expansions.
Nice.
Right, there's now... So My Little Pony has, like, the Transformers on their expansion docket. Oh, Ian played Sharks at Origins.
Oh, cool. How
What
was
is
it?
that? Uh-oh. I don't know if
He's
you
gonna hate it.
He's going to hate it.
I
Gotta
mean,
get,
it's
get
too
your
late now.
refund. Yeah, that's all. Yeah, that's what has been.
Oh,
back
and
in-
French Quarter.
Oh yeah, we talked about that last one. Too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't back that one because I know one of you guys is getting it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So Renegade Games has picked up the license for HeroScape.
Yeah, that was
Which-
big news.
Have you played HeroScape?
No, I have not.
Neither
I've
have
just
I.
seen lots of stuff
Well,
about it.
because HeroScape was gonna have a. It was originally gonna have that. What was it? HasLab project, just like how Hero Quest was.
Okay.
We're going to do it through their crowdfunding. It didn't succeed there, but now it got picked up by Renegade, and we'll see where that goes. I don't know what this is. HeroScape: Age of Annihilation. I don't know. I haven't played any HeroScape.
Oh, we got more breaking news from Ian.
What?
About Sharks.
Hot news too. He's releasing a new version of Kremlin. Oh, I don't know what Kremlin is.
Well, it's a 2-player game, I think.
Is it? 1986. This one?
Oh no, it's not. I'm thinking of something else. Then.
I don't know.
Oh no, wait! Isn't Kremlin
There's
with
another Kremlin that came up. 3rd edition.
when Vassal made his what the hell's the game? Nothing
one?
Personal. Wasn't that based off of this? I thought he based it off of this game.
Oh, was it? I don't know. Nothing Personal is right. Tom Vessel's like mafia kind of game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't played it. Okay. And I think El Grande is getting reprinted too.
Cool.
So we did our last call aboard where we talked about games that we want to see reprinted. El Grande is in my top 10. Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah. Jim was Jolly Roger Games back in the day. Oh, there you go. But anyways, El Grande is one of my all-time favorites, and I'm happy that it's coming back into printing. I believe Lucky Duck is the one that is getting it. There was like a picture of it. Here, new edition announced as of 10 days ago. Yeah, Lucky Duck Games.
Cool.
Polish edition of new version of El Grande. New edition will have 2 mini expansions. There will be some cosmetic changes in rules and 26 cards from mini expansion. So, yeah, this is like the box art right here. Which looks very different than the
Yes,
original
it
Grande.
does.
I mean, the original Grande is just like man on horse with man looking.
Classic.
Yeah, this is 1995.
Disappointed stare.
Yeah. I love El Grande though.
I never played it.
I know. You would I think you would enjoy it.
I think so too.
And then what else do you have for news wise?
For news wise, we obviously talked about Origins. Ian mentioned this already, but I did see an article that said the attendance was up almost 40% from last year,
Yeah.
and that Boop took home the Game of the Year award
At Origins,
at
right?
Origins. Yeah,
That's what you're saying. That's pretty exciting.
another channel favorite game.
Yeah. No, I love Boop. Is there any congratulatory? No, I don't see anything here. But that's cool. They won game of the con. Yeah. And I remember Boop was pretty popular too at PAX Unplugged.
Mm.
The booth was booping. I don't know if people say that. No one says that.
The kids say that
The
these
kids,
days.
the
Yeah.
kids say that. What do kids know?
Booping.
You know, I do know. So earlier this month, Upper Deck opened up a they were suing Ravensburger for Lorcana. So Ravensburger, I'm sorry. So Lorcana is the upcoming did I spell it right?
Disney
Lorcana.
Lorcana.
Right? Disney Lorcana, the upcoming deck card game. So that happened earlier this month. I don't know what's going to happen, but basically one of the designers, Ryan Miller, he was also hired by Upper Deck to work on a particular game, which was called Rush of Icor. And that's where this is happening.
Yeah.
It looks like there may be similarities between Lorcana and Russia.
I mean, apparently a lot of similarities because, look, it's like the music world, right? There's only so many unique sounds that you can make before they start kind of sounding like each other.
Yeah.
And a lot of game designers don't hide the fact that they're taking mechanics that someone else maybe made, right? But when like the way that they made the sound was that almost everything was like
Yeah.
the same. That's obviously much different.
Yeah, Ian saying there was very little advertising for Lorcana at Origins. I don't know if it has to coincide with that.
I don't know. Could be.
Because I know they were going to make this a Gen Con release. But, it's one... You're right, because there is that aspect for sure. But there's also... What if it was the music company that was hiring you as a musician to make an album, and then they decide not to go with the album, but then you decide to take the album somewhere else?
That's totally different.
That's where they're going with this, So, but yeah, I don't know. I'll try Lorcana. I know people are gonna go crazy for getting Lorcana.
Yeah, probably.
I'll just wait till it's easier to grab or play. And then the last bit of news I wanted to add, unless you have more.
The only last thing I have is 3 simple words.
Okay, go ahead.
And I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
Monty Python Zombicide.
Okay, those are not the words I was looking for, but
you fought the walkers.
Monty Python Zombicide. Oh yeah, look at
now there's silly.
There's
walkers.
a Gumby pack too.
Yeah. There's all kinds of crazy stuff
hang
going
on.
on.
Let me just find Monty Python Zombicide. Okay, hang on. Monty. Okay, this is. Oh, it's a whole game.
Oh yeah. Well, no, it's. Is it a whole game? I think it says an expansion.
Rather silly character pack expansion.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Okay.
I don't know where
I like
this
the
came
foot.
from.
I mean, the miniatures are cool.
No, it's awesome. I just
Yeah.
run away. Exactly. I it's just crazy.
Yeah.
Eh.
Oh man. And I notice, I'm noticing right away right now. Well, okay, there's a knight here, but there's a lack of Monty Python and the Holy Grail, and there is a medieval version
Oh yeah.
of Zombicide.
Listen.
So
At this point,
if this, oh look, yeah, Arthur nudge over here, yeah, oh jeez, silly walkers, yeah, Spanish Inquisition, that makes sense. Oh man, okay. Those grannies, okay. The undead parrot, okay, that's funny. Yeah.
I mean, look, they put a lot of thought. Like it makes a lot of sense. They did a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Organist. The foot. Oh man. Okay. Where's the lumberjack? Oh, okay.
Next time.
Well, I guess they got to save it for future expansion.
All right. What's your last piece?
The last thing I wanted to bring up is Spirit Island, Nature Incarnate, is shipping out sooner than expected. And
wow, there's
I
something
think
you don't
it's
hear
gonna
often.
I think it's going to be here soon, which is great. That's what the latest backing news came about.
Okay.
So I'm excited for it. I love Spirit Island. I could play a lot of Spirit Island. I love the different asymmetric powers with Spirit Island. I think it's in my top 20. I think it was in my top 20 video. I feel like it must have been. If not, whatever, it should be.
Where is your Spirit Island?
My Spirit Island is, I think, behind Undaunted or behind It's a Wonderful World.
Okay. Yeah.
It's back there.
Yeah. I'd like to play that again. It's been a while.
Oh, you played it? Oh,
I have. I've played it a few times. I like it a lot, actually.
That one is pretty great. Yeah. And yeah, I love like all the different powers that come about. And it's fun to just see how they all interact.
Oh, and spots. I got spots for Father's Day.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm a spots owner now.
Welcome. It's good. It's good to be a spots owner. But I think that'll do it for tonight's episode.
I believe you are correct.
So I want to thank everyone for participating. I want to thank everyone for tuning in and watching after the fact too. We'll be back next week with another video. I believe we're going to be doing a Creators Corner next week. I don't know with who yet. Barrows has the details on that. Mm-hmm. And then I'll see everyone later.
Bye.
Bye, y'all. Oh, I gotta hit the end button. Now I'm gonna do it. Try it again. Bye.